Hey, before I get started, I'd just like to give a big hello to all my new followers, and thanks for subscribing. Now, back to the point of the video. If I were to sum me up with a few sentences, I would tell you a few things. I'm a brony artist who draws OCs and cover art using Adobe Flash 8, and occasionally with Paint Tools Sci. I'm getting into animating in Flash 8, and I have a few books teaching on how to do so, but I haven't had much of a chance to dive into them as of late. I've dabbled in writing fanfiction and have a great idea for a new one I will be working on to mix things up a bit a little down the road. I'm also now an MLP analyzer who is extremely intrigued by alicorns. I feel that I have a gift at being able to analyze things and then form ideas of what everything means based on how everything fits together. Before I go into more depth on these topics, I will address what most of you are really wondering about me. Why the Alicorn OC? Am I some power-hungry douche who cannot be satisfied with just magic or wings? Do I think I am somehow better than you all? I can assure you that none of these are the case. When I watched the first 2 episodes of MLP, one of the things that interested me the most was how mysterious these magical beings were. They are said to have ruled for thousands of years, and must be powerful enough to move celestial bodies, but that was not enough information to satisfy my lust for knowledge. If it wasn't for this interest, I probably wouldn't have had enough interest to continue watching after the first 10 episodes of MLP. As I did continue to watch, however, this interest festered in me as Celestia and Luna appeared even further. My interest peaked when it finally got to A Candlelight Wedding Part 1 and 2. Not only did I catch the Alicorn guards in the background, but the introduction of Cadence proposed a whole new world of concepts to me. On top of that, Celestia had been beaten in a straight-up fight, shattering and building on many of my other theories. I started asking around what others thought of alicorns. Even the most experienced reviewers such as Digibrony were telling me that they didn't see enough information to really gather any idea. Those I did talk to would generally fail the moment I started questioning them about their logic or pointed out a contradiction. I found that over my quest for knowledge on the topic, I'd become one of the most knowledgeable people in the field. It was at this moment I felt I needed to put out some sort of video collecting the most reputable info I had gathered. To put out YouTube content, it has become more or less commonplace to have an OC in the video. At first, I was leaning towards a unicorn, but then it hit me. Alicorns have been the most interesting thing to me in the fandom, and have inspired me to get involved and put out content in the first place. At the time I made this decision, Magical Mystery Cure was still yet to be released, so it didn't seem like such a bad idea. Once it was released, however, Alicorn hate more than quintupled, but I had already put so much effort and thought into my OC, I really didn't care. If you still hate me for having an Alicorn OC after this, I really can't say much else. Hopefully you will understand how big my perception of alicorns has influenced my role in the fandom, however, and accept my reasons as just ones. If you would like to know what my cutie mark is, it's a grayscale phoenix pretty much identical to the one that Celestia keeps as a pet. I didn't choose this as much of an alicorn connection as much as I did for what the phoenix represents. They generally represent renewal or rebirth. I like to think this represents how I changed when I became a brony. Beforehand, I found myself constantly just standing by and watching all the cruelties there are out in the world. I had almost no hope left in the belief that human compassion still existed. Once I found the brony community, I really saw there was still people out there that actually cared about others selflessly and took even the most basic moral standards to heart. I started becoming a better person myself. I stopped to help others, learned to be accepting of those who disagreed with me, and I've always tried to solve my arguments through discussion rather than more barbaric methods. I feel like a new person since I joined the fandom. I think I have sufficiently explained my OC to you guys now, so I'll get back to the things I brought up earlier. I said that I am an artist. While I mostly draw OCs and fanfic cover art, I would really like to expand. I haven't gotten any requests for much else in those 2 categories. I will accept pretty much anything I am asked to do, so if you need something drawn, hit me up. If it's something small like an OC, I definitely won't even charge you for anything. I just enjoy drawing. You can hit me up at any of the links in the description below. I said that I am starting to animate stuff also. I did some mediocre animations when I first opened up the program, but since then, I've learned a lot. I haven't bothered to make any new animations in a while because I still have so much more in those books I mentioned to read through. I actually got the recommendations of the books through Anthony C., as well as a few other little tips from him. Once I feel I have a good enough understanding of both Flash 8 and pony anatomy, I'll most likely begin to post all my pony animations on this channel as well, but don't expect those for a while. They will probably come out very sparsely as well. I told you all that I have dabbled a bit in fanfiction. I've only written a single 5,000 word fic at this point. It was mostly just an interesting idea I got in the middle of the night and continued to work on an outline until the sun had risen. I then went to school and finished it during Spanish class. I was mostly just testing the waters. The fic has barely over 100 views and has 5 thumbs down to 3 thumbs up. Unfortunately, no one left a comment telling me what they thought was wrong with it, so until I get some feedback from the people I've asked to review it, I have to put making my next one on hold. I have a stellar idea for the next one, but if I write it, I want to make it long and good. If you'd care to give the old one a look for whatever reason, you can find my FemFiction account below in the description. As you all know me, I am now an MLP analyzer. I'm really interested in the topic of alicorns, but I will not make all my content about alicorns. My next video will be about some headcanon I have had about Fluttershy for a while now. I generally try and put as much thought as possible into every topic I cover, so if videos ever slow, you can be assured the next video I'm putting out is going to be a doozy. Once I am done writing the script for one video, I pretty much start thinking about other ideas while I'm in the recording and video editing phase. I believe this helps me smoothly transfer from one video to the next more quickly. One thing I should also mention about this channel is that I have some great long playlists on it for Brony music. I have an original Brony song playlist for songs that come independent from the shows. I have an MLP remix playlist for MLP song remixes, who would have guessed that, and a great beats playlist for songs that aren't really related to MLP by anything other than the artist's title or video image, but which I think are amazing enough to the point where I made a new playlist for them so I could hear them again. In addition to those 3, I have 2 playlists filled with nothing but Luna songs and Fluttershy songs, for when you're in one of those kinds of moods. I've gotten very positive feedback from all of them, and they get played in the background of live streams fairly often. Thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit about me, and I hope this helps you understand my logic in my videos to come.